At the end of this month in England, the World Kayaking Championships take place, and in the Canadian contingent, there is one BC native. He is Colin Shaw of Coquitlam. I talked to both Colin and his coach, Hugh Fisher, about their sport and the championships.
Competing in all the events at the World Championships, that's in all the ladies' kayak events, in the men's kayak events, in the canoeing events. The events are split up into singles, two-man, and four-man in each of those classes. I expect that we'll do better in the team events, in the two-man and four-man events, than we'll do in single events this year. And I think that as a nation, we have good potential to win medals this year. Probably not, we're not looking at golds this year, although a couple of the guys really do have that potential to develop in the next few years. But I think at the silver and bronze level, we're going to be right in there.
Who are the countries to beat?
Well, Russia's always the country to beat. East Germany in women's events is the country to beat. The next level down from there, it's anybody's ball game. And we I think as a country have moved into that level now. I'd say last year going to Olympic Games we had probably 3 or 4 medals in the bag if we'd gone. In the ladies event for sure we would have won a medal, and I think in men's kayaking events we would have won a couple. Our juniors are really coming on at the Junior World Championships this year. We've got one kid who'll probably be a gold medalist there. And so I think that, well, we'll wait and see. I really think our guys will do well this year.
Hugh Fisher was ranked 6th in the world in 1979 and 80, but due to a wrist injury, he has taken up coaching. One of his protégés is Colin Shaw of Coquitlam. They both started kayaking about 10 or 11 years ago, but Colin has just started competitive international kayaking in the past few years. He'll compete in the World Championships in Nottingham, England, with 17 other Canadian men and women selected to represent our country the last weekend in July. Following that, he'll go to Scotland for the Commonwealth Cup competition. Though you see Colin practicing in a one-man kayak, or a K1 as it's known here, he's entered in the K4 500 meters and the K4 1,000 meters, along with the grueling K2 10,000 race, where he and his partner go 10,000 meters.
This is only my second year at world level. I've never competed in a world championship or anything of that sort before. Last year we competed in quite a few regattas in Europe, in Germany, in Poland, and stuff like that. And we had pretty good results.
How did it come about that you were selected to be part of the national team that's going over for the World Championships?
We had 2 sets of trials a month apart back in Montreal, and I just came back from the second set this last weekend. And you have to gain so many points in each event to be selected.
Okay, which events are you going to participate in when you go over to England for the championships?
The World Championships itself, I'll probably race in a K4, which is a 4-man kayak. That's probably the only one. K4, 1,000 meter, and probably 10,000 meter.
How do you prepare for events like this? It must be very time-consuming. You must be on the water quite a bit to get ready for something like this.
Yeah. Usually we have 2 workouts a day, approximately 2.5 hours each. And then there's running afterwards and things like that.
As far as racing goes, we've doubled the numbers of people down here this year. And there's a tremendous upsurge in kayaking recreationally in the province. So I'd say the sport's really beginning to take off now. In the next few years we should see a lot more recreational kayakers, and because of that a lot more racers at the level that Colin's competing at the Canada.
Tell us about some of the drills that you do to prepare yourself for the competition. What kind of things do you do here out by yourself on the lake?
Mostly now it's short sprints. We try and get our strength up and speed, and once in a while we do long distance type training to sort of maintain that cardiovascular type endurance. But mostly it's just short sprints, quite a few really short sprints with very little rest.
Colin won a medal at the 1973 Summer Games held here in our area, and Colin's coach, Hugh Fisher, is also the coach of the BC contingent for the Canada Summer Games this August. You would think that with the National Training Center being located at the Burnaby Lake Pavilion, BC would be the top province in kayaking, especially with our ideal year-round climate. Not so, says Fisher. BC always has a tough time with the eastern provinces at the Canada Summer Games.
I think we'll be fielding a pretty strong team. We're looking at medals in some events. Most of our kids are new paddlers this year, but they're really putting in a good effort, and I expect them to do quite well.
How popular is kayaking on a national level? Do teams come from across the country and participate, say, at an event like the Canada Summer Games?
Oh yeah, there's three provinces that are very strong in canoeing: Ontario, Quebec, and Nova Scotia. And BC's traditionally ranked about 4th, and then the other provinces all field teams that are ranked lower than that. But the big competition will be from Ontario and Quebec.
I know that the National Rowing Center is here at Burnaby at this pavilion here. What about for kayaking? Is this also the National Center for that sport as well?
Well, we've kind of developed this place to be the national center for the elite male kayakers in Canada. We've got I'd say 4 or 5 out of the top 8 or 10 in the country competing out of here now, and some of the top women as well. And so we're really a powerful center here now, real hotbed, I think.
And we'll wrap up Thursday in sports right after this short timeout.